Okay, so continuing with our talk about the election, Wisconsin Supreme Court, this is something that's not been talked about a lot publicly, mainstream media, and I almost missed it. One of you guys actually brought it to my attention, but it looks like the Democrats have scored a key victory in the swing state of Wisconsin. So if we pull up the polls, we see, according to 538, they're basically tied. Trump is up by 1 right now, but in a margin of error, it's basically a tie, a statistical tie. And you just track the history over the last couple of weeks. Biden's up by a couple, Trump's up by a couple, Biden's up. So it's neck and neck in this key swing state of Wisconsin. So what the Democrats managed to do was get the Supreme Court to allow them to use ballot drop boxes. So what they're going to do is use these drop boxes, obviously, to cheat, because that's what they did back in 2020. The Supreme Court in 2022 actually ruled against them, but it looks like now they have the legal authority and a backing of their governor and the clerk's office, everybody over there, the election commission in Wisconsin, to flood the state of Wisconsin with drop boxes. And we know exactly what the hell the plan is, but they're trying to gaslight us and act like we're stupid. So we're going to read a little bit of this article right here, and we're going to actually react to the election commission of Wisconsin. We're going to react to the director of that commission, and we're also going to look at an example of how these drop boxes are full-blown fraudulent. So let's look at what happened the other day. The Wisconsin Supreme Court new liberal majority reversed a ruling that banned most drop boxes, opening the door for election officials to reinstate their use in a swing state before November. In July 2022, the state Supreme Court, then under a conservative majority, held that the absentee ballot boxes, which were widely used during the 2020 election, were not authorized under state statute, and therefore the Wisconsin Election Commission guidance encouraging their use was unlawful. This is 2 years ago. The case, known as Taken versus Wisconsin Election Commission, centered on a state statute that requires an absentee ballot be returned to the municipal clerk by one or two ways: by the elector mailing in an envelope, or by the elector delivering the ballot in person to the municipal clerk. It upheld that the statute does not allow off-site unattended drop boxes, and drop boxes could only be placed in local elections clerk offices, and no one other than a voter could return a ballot in person. Now, I don't think we should have these things at all, but if you're going to have them, this is the best way to have them. Have them right there in the clerk's office with security, with the staff right there. Don't just put them on the streets, random places, all over the place. Have them where we can see them. But unfortunately, the Democrats last year, about a year ago, they took control of the Wisconsin Supreme Court, and the activists over there and the fraudsters, the Democrats, saw an opportunity. They said, oh, we got the majority, so let's go right back immediately and reverse this, which is what they did. So let's look at what the Democrats' 4 justices said about this ruling. Given this, the question then becomes whether delivery to a drop box constitutes delivery to the municipal court. Here we go. We're about to twist wording. So if we just have a drop box over there 100 miles away from everybody in the middle of nowhere, and we pull up and drop some envelopes in there, that counts as giving it to the clerk. Does it really? But this is what the Democrats justices are saying. We conclude that it does. A drop box is set up, maintained, secured, and emptied by the municipal clerk. This is the case even if the drop box is in a location other than the municipal clerk's office. As analyzed, the statute does not specify a location to which a ballot must be returned, and requires only that the ballot be delivered to a location that the municipal clerk, within his or her discretion, designate. So they basically took the statute, took the written law, twisted it, found little holes they can poke in it, and came up with this rule. But like I said, these things lead to fraud. And these people are going to talk to us as if we're stupid. This is gaslighting. Let's look at this video clip here showing an example. This happened in Connecticut. I think it was 2 years ago in Connecticut. And this was actually Democrat versus Democrat fraud during a primary. And it just shows you, even during this case, the Democrats had to admit that these things lead to fraud. It's easier to cheat when you have drop boxes. Let's look at this clip.
Right now at 5, today was day 2 of the Bridgeport absentee ballot hearing. And the woman right here in this video, allegedly at the center of all this, was spotted with a drop box. She was on the witness stand. Channel 3 New Haven Bureau Chief Matt McFarland was inside court today, and he's joining us live right now with more. Matt.
Hi there, Mark. Well, that woman, Wanda Jeter Pataki, in that video, she was called to testify, wanted to speak about the ballots and that video, but not surprisingly, she didn't say much, instead pleading the fifth.
Did you ever deposit an absentee ballot, a completed absentee ballot that was not yours, in a city drop box?
On the witness stand and questioned for 35 minutes, Wanda Jeter Pataki, the City Hall employee and supporter of Mayor Joe Ganim, took the fifth. She and her attorney refusing to answer questions.
Again, Your Honor, on behalf of my client, I would assert her privilege.
With nearly all of them focusing on her handling of absentee ballots.
Is that you placing completed absentee ballots into the drop box at 99 Broad Street?
And how she allegedly stuffed a number of them into a drop box or gave them to other people to do the same in the days leading up to September's primary.
Did you just high-five the gentleman who placed absentee ballots into the drop box?
Again, on her behalf, asserting her privilege.
After a video surfaced online, Democratic challenger John Gomes filed a lawsuit asking for a new primary. Gomes won the in-person voting at the poll, but the absentees, which broke roughly 2-1 for Ganim, put the mayor on top by 251 votes.
It stains the political world. It stains Bridgeport.
Also on the stand today, Anita Martinez, who's running for city council on the Ganim slate and also allegedly seen on video putting ballots in a drop box multiple times.
I think it's sad that election officials and campaign volunteers in the city of Bridgeport are forced to take this Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination.
But an attorney representing Bridgeport's town clerk claims the video isn't enough to overturn the election.
It says to me that this election may have had bad actors involved. I'm not saying that that didn't occur, but it's not to a level that would disenfranchise all the thousands of voters who did it right.
Now again, this court case will take a break on Monday. They'll be back here on Tuesday, and that's when we expect Mayor Joe Ganim to take the witness stand. We're live at the Mobile Newsroom in Bridgeport. Matt McFarland, Channel 3.
So there you have it, a clear example, and this is happening all over the country. Democrats are using it against each other, and they're mainly using it against Republicans, definitely in these swing states like Wisconsin, a key swing state. This is the plan, to set up drop boxes right before November. So let's get into the Republicans on the Supreme Court. Let's see what they had to say, a piece of what they had to say. The members of the majority believe using drop boxes is good policy and one they hope will aid their preferred political party. The minority continued. Tagan upheld the historical meaning of Wisconsin Statute 6.874B1, which bars the use of off-site unmanned drop boxes. The majority, in this case, overruled Tagan, not because it is legally erroneous, but because the majority finds it politically inconvenient. The majority's activism marks another triumph of political power over legal principle in this court. Full-blown politicized courts. It would be great if we could have courts that were fully neutral, but we know that we don't have that even in the U.S. Supreme Court. So in the Wisconsin Supreme Court, you got 3 Republicans and 4 Democrats, and they had the split decision, and they are preparing to cheat. So let's go over here. Let's look at what the Election Commission director had to say about this thing. Let's look at some of this gaslighting.
I just want to say that we are pleased about the recent announcement from the state Supreme Court to give cities the discretion to utilize drop boxes. This is just another opportunity for us to provide a safe and secure way for people to drop off their absentee ballots here to the city of Milwaukee. We are currently reviewing the decision, waiting for guidance from the Wisconsin Elections Commission, but we are working on, I've already done a general physical audit of the ballot boxes. Currently we have 12 in operation. We're hoping to have 14 by the August election. We will not have an operational.
You see how she's trying to talk as if, well, it's a decision we have to make, you know. We don't know if we're going to have these things everywhere, but we'll see.
The July 3rd
when they know.
Special election. However, the goal is to have them ready for the August partisan primary and then definitely for November president.
Boom. Definitely for November. We will definitely have these things out here because that's what really matters. We don't care about these damn primaries. We need to make sure Orange Man does not win Wisconsin in November.
Election.
explain a little bit about what physical audit took place? Like, what did you guys actually look at on the job?
Oh, sure. So like I said.
Oh, sure. So nervous up here because she's trying to keep her lies together. She's in character right now. She has a script. She has some notes. She's practiced this, what she's going to say to the press, questions that the press may have asked her. The questions may have been given to her already. But she's in character right now, trying to gaslight the American people, trying to gaslight the Wisconsins as if they're not running the game on people.
They have been there since 2021, so we had 2 of our trained full-time staff visit every one of the boxes.
Why is she looking so nervous?
Make sure that the secured, heavy cover that's on there still works, making sure that things can open up okay and things are...
See, this is the part they're going to keep saying right here. Well, we had, them secured, they're checking the locks, nobody can break it. That's not the problem. Yeah, somebody can do that, but the problem is you guys, the people who work for the clerk's office, the directors, whoever's involved, whoever they hire, as we saw in that clip, are going to manipulate them. We're not worrying about Joe Smo down the street, some crackhead manipulating the box. The problem that's going to arise is you guys stuffing the box. You guys, your staff at this office are going to choose to stuff the box. And you may even select certain ballots out of the box that you want to discard. Like we had that issue in California a couple of years ago when people were having problem with the envelopes. When you're mailing in something or you're doing drop boxes, and some of the envelope, the design of it can show the way that you're voting. Let's look at this picture here. It can show the way that you're voting. So the people who work at the clerk's office and the people that they hired to work with them to help them with this will go out there and manipulate the boxes, not some random person on the street. But they're not going to say that. They're just going to say, no, it's secure. Yeah, it's secure, but you had a key.
Locked. And then, some of the things like updating our signage, reviewing stuff like that. And then we are currently doing the security enhancement with the cameras and working with our law enforcement partners. But I don't have details on that yet, but we will have it soon.
Is it any easier to defraud the ballot drop box than it is mail or any other absentee method?
So here at the Milwaukee Election Commission, we have an extensive paper trail and chain of custody for all of our processes when it comes to voting. And so we track our information carefully. And one of the things, like I said, our priority is secure and fair elections, and that's what we prioritize here.
Yeah, so that's enough of that. We see what's going on. Funny business in Wisconsin. Statistically tied right now in the polls, and it's a critical state. It can sway the outcome of the election. And just in time, the election commission, the Democrats in Wisconsin got exactly what they want. So we're going to see them all over the Milwaukee area, and they're going to stuff these boxes. And here's some other things going on. They're trying to shame the Republicans out of using the drop boxes because the Republicans are now saying, okay, well, if you guys are going to push the drop boxes out there, we're going to use them too. And the Democrats will say, well, 2 years ago, you were against it. Don't be hypocrites. You can't use them. We're going to use them. You can't use them. The Republicans are saying, if you guys want to run this funny business, if you want to run this game, we're going to use it too. We're going to fight fire with fire. And I think that's the right thing to do. If the Supreme Court wants to weigh in favor of the Democrats in a fraudulent manner, if the election commission want to gaslight the American people, if the governor of Wisconsin is encouraging people to use these drop ballots and also encourage the Supreme Court to make that ruling, Republicans need to play that same game. If you want to stuff the box, how about the Republicans do it too? Because you have to fight fire with fire. The Republicans always get slapped around, always trying to take the moral high ground, be the quote unquote good guys, and that causes you to lose. Being a good guy getting slapped around only encourages the Democrats to take advantage of you and to recognize that your soft is pudding and to continue to defeat you in elections. So fight fire with fire. If they want to run this game, you run it too. But let me know what you guys think about this situation. Leave me your thoughts in the comments below. Share the video. Thanks for watching.